Gotcha. Jordan Belfort, Jordan Belfort, bum bum beat beat bum bum beat Rihanna. With TEDx. Thanks. My name is Nick Friedman. I'm a 20-year-old college dropout, and I decided to beatbox. Now, I started beatboxing when I was 15. I wasn't supposed to beatbox, but then again, who really is supposed to make weird sounds with their mouths, ranging from drums to chickens, while dancing around obnoxiously in these shoes? I was supposed to be practicing piano for 4 years so that I got really, really good at it, so that I could get into Yale, be a part of their orchestra for a year, and then finally quit doing something I hated so much. And man, did I hate piano. But it was my ticket to college. I mean, I was good at it. I'd been doing it since I was 8. Everyone from my mom to my teachers told me that I couldn't be well-rounded if I wanted to get into Yale. They wanted someone who was really good at one thing besides academics. So I had a decision to make. I knew I could get the test scores and I knew I could get the grades, but do I push through and make my life revolve around piano for the next 4 years? Or do I risk not getting into Yale and actually enjoy high school? After about a month of practicing piano and playing the same song over and over and over again because I kept getting a 99.5 instead of 100, I realized it was going to be a really long 4 years to say the least. So I said to myself, look, it's only freshman year. You have plenty of time. You can do this later. Turns out I never came back to piano, and it turned out that that was the best decision that I ever made. After my departure from piano, I decided to switch to the instrument that I'd always wanted to play since I was a kid, drums. I remember one Saturday morning at breakfast, I went downstairs and asked my mom, "Mom, can I have a drum set?" "Seriously, son?" I gave her the "Mom, don't do it" look. Well, she did it. "Are you serious, son? The drums, of all the instruments you picked the drums. The drums is basically the tuba. It's basically like taking a tuba and playing it in my ear." I didn't hear the rest. Like any 15-year-old boy going through puberty, I ran to my room and slammed my door so loud that it caused a scene by reverberating across the entire house. And in a moment marked by extreme logical thought, I realized that I could get the individual pieces of the drum set through my second-story window, hide them in my closet, and then assemble the drum set and play when my mom wasn't home. Foolproof, right? However, it was in my rage that I found beatboxing. I was looking for a snare drum on the internet, and I found this link that said human drums. I was interested, so I clicked it, and sure enough, there was a guy there beatboxing, and I was in awe. I mean, how was he making those sounds? I wanted to make those sounds. So it began. For the next 8 hours, I kept doing instructional videos and trying to figure out how to do it, and I went from to I mean, I was getting pretty good at it, and I was so excited. It was so fun. It was so satisfying. It was like when you beat Candy Crush after 3 weeks of being stuck on the same level and trying not to do any in-app purchases. It was amazing. And I ran downstairs and I told my mom, "Mom, I want to learn how to beatbox." "How are you going to learn how to beatbox, son?" Her jaw dropped. As did mine, because it was in that moment that I realized two very important things. The first was that was the best and only comeback I will ever have against my mom in my entire life. But the second, and perhaps more important, maybe not more important, I realized that I could do anything. I didn't have to play the piano anymore. I could do anything if I just found beatboxing randomly on the internet. So when I was 15, not only did I beatbox, but I continued to act, dance, sing, and swim just like I did in middle school. I was in the chess club, the math team. I helped start a club called the Guinness World Records Club, where we meet every week and break world records. I didn't care what it was. It was fun. I was taking classes on subjects that that my school didn't offer just because I was interested in them. I mean, I was playing the marimba and the harmonica for fun, and I met a professional mini golfer and started to go to official mini golf tournaments every week because why not? Well, I guess I found out why not, because come senior year, when I opened my computer and saw my rejection letter from Yale, I was crushed. I mean, I thought that Yale would take me not because I was valedictorian or had good SAT scores, but because I was doing well and I was having so much fun. But I guess I was wrong. I'm not sure if the reason why I didn't get into Yale or any Ivy League schools is directly related to the fact that I did so much in high school, but that's besides the point. I ended up choosing Williams College, which is a small liberal arts school in the northwest corner of Massachusetts. It turned out to be #1 on Forbes the year I went, above Yale, but I didn't care. I wasn't excited. It wasn't Yale. I mean, being from the South, no one even knew what Williams was. I tell people I'm going to Williams, and they say, "You don't mean Williams, you mean Williams and Mary." Like I didn't know where I was going to school, like I was wrong. Some people thought I was going to Williams in Sonoma, which is a cookware company. But the summer before I went to college, it all changed. I got a call from a number I'd never seen before. Hello? Dude, yo, dude, what's up, man? How's your summer been? Good, man. How's your summer been? It's been great, dude, just getting ready for the semester. I realized in that moment that the guy in the other line was not some super chill 18-year-old surfer dude. He was my advisor that I'd been assigned 2 weeks earlier, Professor Devadas. Professor Devadas told me something in that conversation that stuck with me to this day and really resonated with me. He said, you could be the best sociologist in the world, but you never know if you don't take a sociology class. He told me to take classes that I've never been exposed to start college. I realized that philosophy was my life. I mean, turns out I'm a terrible sociologist, but what sociology is to some, beatboxing, mini golf, and acting are to me. I took Professor Devadas' advice to heart, and it sort of changed my perspective. I realized that Williams was the right fit for me. It was where I belonged. I mean, I didn't get into Yale or any of the Ivy League schools that I applied to because I wasn't right for them. It wasn't my fault, and it wasn't their fault. And going into college worrying about the experience and not about the name made it so much more rewarding. I really, really, really took Professor Devadas' advice to heart, especially my freshman year. Taking an Asian art history class, why not? Having my own beatboxing show, why not? Being a nude model for an art class, why not? Going to Montreal and winning thousands of dollars by exploiting a biased roulette wheel with my best friends, why not? There's a period of time at Williams called winter study. It's a time in January where everyone takes one class, and one day after my class, which was naturally on street performing, I decided to plan a trip to Montreal with my friends. We knew there was a casino there, and we had this grand idea, this grand vision that we were going to beat the casino. Famous last words. But we were determined. I mean, we'd stay up until 3 a.m. with felt craps tables and decks of cards and roulette wheels on our phones, trying to figure out a way to come out on top. And we came up with this strategy with designated bettors and trackers and even a designated drinker who would distract everyone from what we're doing. We felt like we were in a movie. It was incredible. We ended up winning thousands of dollars, and the next night, we spent it on the most amazing dinner of our young lives. After roulette, a few of my friends and I realized that if we could apply our team dynamic to doing something like that, why don't we shoot bigger? We wanted to change an industry. And that's how we found real estate. My friends and I realized that we could work together, and we started that summer, and we pushed forward and tried to create a successful business. We had so many iterations and iterations of our business plan, and by the end of our sophomore year, I mean, we were ready. We were ready to get funded. We had a team. We had tech. We had everything that we needed to do it. But there was one question. Do I stay in school and continue to do something that I'm so comfortable doing, like I was supposed to do? Or do I drop out and leave all that behind? Now, you can see from my life that I am what people define as a creative person. I've done creative things, I've taken creative risks, but really, what is this creative person? I mean, by a show of hands, actually, that's boring. Stand up and dab if you define yourself as a creative person. Thank you. Now, I'm here to tell you that every single one of you, even if you don't know what dabbing is, and even if you didn't do it as intensely as this guy right here, should have stood up. Because being a creative person is not about making cool hipster artwork or finding a more efficient way to solve a roulette system or even beatboxing. Being creative is about doing one thing differently than you would otherwise normally do. Challenge the way that you go about every day. I mean, creativity shouldn't be some lofty, unattainable goal that can only be reached by the Kendrick Lamars and Steve Jobs of the world. Start by being creative uniquely within your own sphere before trying to be creative compared to others. Let me give you an example. I mean, it could be as simple as bringing a ham sandwich to lunch instead of peanut butter and jelly. Or maybe you do something insane. Maybe you do something crazy and you bring jambalaya to lunch because you've never had jambalaya in your entire life. And I know this sounds ridiculous, but that jambalaya could change your life. Because you can go to the microwave now since you have to heat up your food. You meet someone there who introduces you to your best friend, to your significant other, to your business partner. If you do the same thing every day, if you follow a routine, you close yourself off to the millions of things out there and there's so many relationships that are just waiting to be formed. Now, once you choose to go on this creative path, you can't stop there, right? If I started beatboxing, sure, it's creative, but if I don't make any new sounds, if I don't change up my style, my personal creativity level is zero. Being creative is growing, is changing, and you shouldn't be afraid because creative people are not afraid. They don't make excuses. I mean, this guy wasn't afraid to stand up and dab 14 times. You shouldn't be afraid. People tell me all the time, oh, you know, I don't have time to be creative. I'm not a creative person. But what does that mean? I mean, if you've been doing the same thing for 15 years of your life, and there are a billion other things out there, why not try something different? Why not try and avoid that midlife crisis that so many people go through because they do one thing? Is it because you're scared? Is it because it's easier doing the things the way they are? I mean, even if you're happy doing one thing now, why not try and do something else? Maybe there's more to life than your current job, hobbies, or even lunches. Don't be afraid to take that sociology class, because otherwise you'll never know. Every day should be a new experience, and every day should be unexpected, and that's how you be creative. My life took a crazy turn. I went to college, and I worked so hard to get into this amazing school, and then I threw it all away to drop out of college and pursue another dream of mine. But the best part is that I have no regrets taking a life choice that society may not approve of. I'm here to tell you that education can be found anywhere, not just in the classroom. I'm not telling you guys to drop out of college, but I'm telling you that there's no right way to do life. I mean, don't do what your friend's doing if it's not you. Don't listen to the article that says these are the 10 steps you need to take in order to be successful, because everyone's version of success is different. Yours might be to go to college and get a job, while someone else's might be to be a bartender on the beach. It's up to you, not someone else. Ever since I was 15, I decided to push against what other people in my high school were doing and become an individual. Creativity surrounds all aspects of my life, from the way I beatbox to the way I approach problems with my team. I encourage you to take risks like the ones that I've taken, because life is short. I love life, but man, I'm 20 years old. A fifth of my life is over. So why not try and live the life that you want to live, not the life that someone else is telling you to live? It's not too late, and there's always a way. So when faced with my biggest decision yet, do I stay in school and continue to get my degree and get a job, or do I drop out and pursue a dream of mine of starting my own company? Rather than do what I was supposed to do, rather than play the piano, I decided to beatbox. And I hope you do too. Thank you.